strangers on the internet, and welcome to me setting up my January uh, reading journal. I'm going ahead and picking out some materials. I wanted to go with some sort of January based theme, and I ended up going for golden stars. Um, just something fun, fresh for the new year. I wasn't really enthused by any of the sticker options that I had, so I do mostly keep it to pen and washi tapes. Um, I don't even end up using those stickers that I've pulled out there on the left hand. Um, but at this point, I figured out what um, kinds of spreads work really well for me. And I feel like last year I got pretty burned out on my reading journal and setting things up. And so I wanted to keep things a little bit more simply done this year, at least to start off with. Maybe I'll get inspired to do more. But yeah, I wrote out the word January on the side there so I would spell it correctly, and then did some basic calligraphy lettering. And now I'm adding in some big stars that I wanted overlapping with the lettering, and I'll add in a couple smaller stars. Um, I did look on Pinterest for some inspiration, didn't find the specific one I was looking for, so I had to research. And I'll make sure this Pinterest pin is in the description below, so you can go check it out yourself. But they kept theirs a little bit more pink toned. I did mine a little bit more yellow toned. I found out that I like to keep my spreads pretty monochrome, or just one or two colors. I think it's a little bit simpler. It suits my purposes a little bit more, and it makes each month a little bit more distinct because then I can just not do consecutive colors. So February, I won't do a gold or yellow spread. I probably won't even do an orange, or if I do, it'll be a much darker orange. So here is my title page, pretty set up. And then I will move over to this right hand page. I have set up my reading journals for this way for the past couple of years now, with a title page for the month, and then I will do a TBR on the top half of that right hand page, and my stats on the bottom. And I always forget exactly what stats I track, even though I do know them off the top of my head. But just to make sure I put them in the same order every time, I always look back to the previous month. But since this is a brand new journal, I don't have any previous months at this point. So I opened up my last year's journal, which is what I have there. Um, and then the stats I track are the number of books I read in a month, the number of books I read off my own TBR shelves, the books I own physically, as that means, the number of books I bought that month, the number of nonfiction books I read, the number of, or my average rating, the number of DNFs I had, the total number of pages in books I read, the number of fan fictions I read, and the number of pages of fan fiction I read, and then my total pages, which is the fan fiction plus the book pages. You'll see me realize I don't exactly know how many, because I know exactly how much room the stats are going to take, so I can just write them from the bottom up, and then I can place that washi tape exactly above my January stats label, and just make it a little bit nicer instead of putting the tape down first. So I'm writing out those stats that I just mentioned, and then I will write my TBR under that January TBR, which stands for to be read. And then on the next page is where I will start actually tracking the books. And again, I always do the same thing. I do 11 by 8 boxes, 11 wide and 8 tall, and that allows me to fit 8 boxes per page. And then I track the title, the author, what else did I do? My star rating, the number of pages, and the genre, and then I will glue in a book cover. So there's my stats and TBR page all finished set up. Fixing that one diamond or star. And then here, you can't really see it very well, but I am doing my boxes, and I just draw in the corners for the boxes. I think it make it look a little bit neater. And that way, if I accidentally write too long, or the title is just a little bit longer than the box, it doesn't matter too much, because the title isn't going over the line. You'll see that in some of my other videos where I'm writing out titles in these boxes, and you can't see the boxes very well because of course they're in yellow, but they do show up well in person, and that's all that really matters to me. So again, they are 11 wide and 8 long, or 11 wide and 8 tall, And this is where I track the individual books that I read. Um, so I have actually already started my first book for the year, and I'm currently reading it. It is The Royal Ranger by John Flanagan. And so that is the very first book in my reading journal this year. It's very exciting. Um, so yeah, I am just about finished. Again, I keep it very simple. Um, at the end of the month, I will do my fan fictions that I read and I'll put those in. And if I do more than 8 books in a month, I'll make another one of those boxes pages. Bye bye.